Good afternoon everybody and welcome to sunny Dubai. My name's Martin from Trader UAE. Now today we're going to be driving the brand new Porsche Macan Turbo, a sports utility vehicle that Porsche say is like nothing else on the market. Well, it's got a 3.6 litre V6 twin turbo engine underneath that bonnet. Doesn't sound too different to me, so there must be something in the driving. Let's go and find out. Now, the compact sports utility vehicle segment is fast becoming one of the most ferocious and most competitive in all of cardom. So it's very important for the car makers to actually always do something a little bit better than the rest. So, as such, this being Porsche, it's no ordinary SUV. No, this is in fact a sports utility vehicle. So what is a sports utility vehicle? Well, judging by the looks, it's a sportier looking SUV. Maybe that's it. Is it just the looks, I wonder? Well, let's have a look. Here on my left, I've got a very high door ledge, as you'd expect to find in, say, a 911. I've got a high centre console, also more akin to a sports car. The steering wheel here in the Macan has actually been taken out of the Porsche 918 Spider, so lots of sporting pretense has been built into the interior. Now, looks-wise, from the front, you'd be hard to argue that it looks like a Cayenne. It does. Certainly that's where the inspiration for this car has come from. It's a much smaller version, obviously, and when you look at it from the side, you can actually see the sloping roofline resembles that of a Porsche 911, or actually, in my opinion, closer resembles the Porsche Cayman. Now, the version I have here is the Porsche Macan Turbo. It costs 345,000 dirhams. Now with that, you get a 3.6 litre twin turbo V6, which isn't too bad at all if I say so myself. 400 brake horsepower, 550 Newton meters of torque, and it can get from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 4.8 seconds. The interior is fantastically finished, as you would expect in any Porsche. The stitching, superb. Everything just feels well made and built to last. The gear change levers behind the steering wheel, I don't know quite what material they are, brushed aluminium, whatever, but believe me, they are just so nice to hold. They don't feel cheap, they don't feel like they're about to fall off. Everything just feels phenomenally well made. Now, Porsche believe this is going to be a big seller over here in the Middle East region, and I completely understand their confidence. I think they're onto a winner here. This is definitely going to be popular with people in the UAE, young and trendy professionals with a predilection for selfies and PR babble. Believe me, this is going to be a common sight on the UAE's roads before too long. So here we have a compact SUV which shares the same basic platform as the Audi Q5, but it only shares a third of the technology. As you'd expect, Porsche have put their own finishing touches to it, and the results, I'll be honest with you, are pretty good. The PDK gearbox in this car is fantastic, absolutely seamless. And what I can do here is clicking it to manual, and it just goes. Look, hear that sound. Ah. Now, there are two versions of the Macan available here in the UAE. There's the Turbo, which is what I'm driving here, and then there's a 3 litre V6 in the Porsche Macan S, which is 90,000 dirhams cheaper than this one here, which costs 345,000 dirhams. Now, the S, in my opinion, is almost as good as the Turbo, and the smart man would probably be looking to go and buy that and then spend the money he saved on not buying the Turbo on kitting it out with lots of options. But then the Turbo does have an ace up its sleeve. By pressing this button here, Sport Plus, we're gone. Handling wise, this car is pretty good. Honestly, it's no harder to drive than a golf cart. It really isn't. Everything feels absolutely as it should. There's no annoying wobble or play in the steering wheel. You can feel every turn, you can feel the road, everything that a proper driver wants from his or her car. So what do we think about the Porsche Macan then? What's our conclusion? Well, let's look at the facts. It's a good looking car, certainly, and it's a very comfortable car on the inside as well, which is finished to perfection almost in that typical Porsche way. But it's the power that's the most surprising. When you drive it in normal drive around the roads and so on, you certainly do feel perhaps a little bit underwhelmed. You think to yourself, oh, it's a twin turbo, I perhaps wanted a bit more. But then you press that Sport Plus button and believe me, it just becomes a completely different animal altogether. It is a fantastic car, a real driver's car that anyone who even remotely enjoys driving is going to absolutely salivate at the prospect of owning.